2 images to work with. So basically, when you work in Motion, you get down to your file browser. You can drop stuff in, and then you can shrink it up out in your timeline. So we're gonna make like a 10-second video. Okay, there's one, and then I'll pull in this image, and I'll pull in this one. Okay. So I have these images in here, and I'm just going to shrink down my percentage so I can see the entire screen. All right. And I'm going to blow the images. Actually, it doesn't really matter up. I was going to make them bigger, but I don't really know if we need to for what we're going to do. I'm actually just going to stack them all on top of one another, though. Okay. So the one thing about this program, it does work in groups. So these are all grouped together right now. I could separate them if I wanted to. Have them all in their own groups if I wanted to. So I'm going to have these 3 things basically be there at the same time on the screen for the full duration. So I'm just dragging them out. All right, now, the 3D camera, what you're going to do is go right here to camera, and you're going to say create a camera. It's going to say ask your question. Do you want to cancel, switch, or keep as 2D or switch to 3D? We want to switch to 3D. Okay, what this allows me to do then is I can go up here, and you can see I'm now in like a free floating space. Okay, if I go and I click on one of these images, you can see that I have controls to move them in space now as well. So the blue moves back and forth, red side to side, green up and down. So I'm just going to stagger these a little bit, and you can still resize and all that stuff. So. All right, now what you're seeing, watch what happens when I move this. You're seeing what the camera is seeing. Okay, or I'm sorry, what the perspective shot is. What I'm seeing right now is my active camera, and my camera is actually a thing as well. So here's my camera, and here's my camera right there. Okay, so I have this stuff set up. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to position my camera to start out here. And I'm just using these controls at the top. So this moves side to side, up, down. This pans in and out. This rotates. So I'm going to start it so I can see just this design. All right. So now to keyframe, what I do is I go in here and I see that red dot. That's my keyframe recorder. A little bit easier than Final Cut in some ways, sometimes maybe a little bit more confusing. Basically what it does is anytime that is turned on recording and you move something, it's going to know to create a keyframe for anything that you change. Okay, so I'm going to hit record and I'm going to say, all right, right there I want this to be exactly like that. But then I'm going to say, all right, fairly soon I'm going to have my camera pan out slightly. And then by 2 seconds in, it's going to have rotated over, panned over. All right, and then I'm going to say, okay, by the time this comes around, I'm going to have it start zooming in. By the time 3.75 seconds comes around, it's going to be panned over. See, by that point, I want it to zoom through. So you can go through images. Now, I didn't put like a background in there. I just kind of have these free floating things in there. But that allows us to move around. But you could have a background if you wanted to. All right, so I'm going to stop recording. Let's see what this looks like now. So you can actually set up all your images and, you know, go through space, have it like examine the images, get close-ups. Okay, but it's basically like a camera that you control out in real life, except this one is in the computer in this program, and you can bring your images and separate them. You could also say I want to start recording again. I could say, okay, at this point, that James B. Conan calendar is going to be there. But then at this point, it's actually going to slide off screen. So now when I play this thing, it'll pan. You can see it moving. So it looks pretty cool. And again, you can control the pacing. Now, when you're done, guys, to export a video out of Motion, you're going to go up to Share and then Export Movie. And then H.264, unless you wanted the background to be clear. If you want your background to be clear, you can use the Apple ProRes 4444 file. So now I'm going to hit this Next. Okay, I'm going to send this out as demo real clip test. Okay, so I'm going to send that out as an Apple ProRes 4444. What that does is it makes it like a moving PNG, so the background is clear. So I'm going to bring this on a Final Cut, and I'm going to put another background in the back, and it'll look kind of cool. So I'm going to quit that. And where did I send it to? Oh, here it is. So here's my file. Okay, that white is actually a clear background. So now I'm going to go into Final Cut. And again, guys, like, you know, really, there is no right or wrong answer for this. I mean, you just want it to look good. You want it to kind of showcase your work. You want it to be interesting to watch. And again, minute to a minute 30 is kind of where we're looking ballpark. You may not even have enough, maybe really, for a minute, depending. Uh-oh. All right, well, I'm going to have to restart the computer because Final Cut's having problems. So